I've been trying to get you on FACTORY78 TV for over 2 years. So
he's been trying to get me just in contact with that. So been too busy talking to Don Jazzy, the badge, and all them. Yeah.
FACTORY78 TV, we're live in a very special studio. I feel very important today for, one of the first times this has happened. I'd say probably the first time it's happened. We've come to meet someone very, very special. I've been trying to get you on FACTORY78 TV for over 2 years. So
he's been trying to get me just in contact with that. So been too busy talking to Don Jazzy, the badge, and all them. Yeah.
So we just had to make this happen. Mr. Muyiwa Olanrewaju,
Yes,
Muyiwa, to a lot of people, Muyiwa and the River Songz. Yes. That definitely rings a bell. Happy to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
Even though it's your building, but at least we still came to, you honored us with your time.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it, sir. Let's get into it. Muyiwa and the River Songz. How would you explain that to people that might not have heard of you before?
Well, for lots of people who don't know Muyiwa and River Songz, we're just a collective, I'll call us. I can't really say we're a group because each person in River Songz so there's Muyiwa, that's me, Muyiwa Olanrewaju, that one. And then River Songz, a collective of people who are all artists in their own right, and musicians and session singers, so we have people like Femi Temor. Femi Temor is easily one of the top 3 jazz guitarists in this country. His last album was Evening Standard's Jazz Album of the Month. Wow. We've got people like Emily Holligan who sings with Stevie Wonder. We've got all sorts in the group. But when we come together, we become River Songz. And so River Songz is a collective of people who, professional musicians, professional singers, but have a faith and make no apologies about their faith and just love to do this gospel thing.
River Songz, how did that come about? Like, where did the name come from? When I hear River Songz, I always think of something like the waters. Where did that come from?
Well, the name came from a bit of the Bible where there's a prophet who's talking about, who's explaining an experience he's having where he's in the water and the water comes up to his ankle, to his knees, and he's able to swim in it. So for us, when we started River Songz, the idea was that we'll create music and create an experience that people, they might start gently and not sure what it is, but before they know it, they'll be swimming in it, and it all started in 2003. A friend of mine, Eddie Martin, who works under the name of Quincy Jones. So you see him on credits of things like Jennifer Lopez, Neo, Chris Brown, people like that. We grew up together, studied music together, and went to the same church. And we just thought, we want to give our gifts to God. So we called all our friends. We had the drummer who was with Jason Donovan, the guitarist who was with Westlife, the keyboardist who was with Kylie Minogue. Just called everyone together. We wrote an album, we recorded it, and boom, that's where it started.
You're mentioning names there like Jennifer Lopez. You're mentioning. I went through some of your work. I heard you've worked with people that have produced with the likes of Chris Brown, and these names kept coming at me. And I thought to myself, like, this is mainstream. And then I found out that you actually had worked with Sony Music for a while. You had aspirations of doing popular music.
Oh yeah.
But decided to, change path.
Well, I didn't really decide. I was one of those struggling, because I was in church. I was a worship leader, and I loved God, and I still do. But I wanted to do pop music because that was my thing, pop music, and it just didn't work. And interesting enough, one of the main reasons it didn't work is, and it's only those who understand this Jesus thing would understand what I'm about to say. When my mother was gonna, my parents had 2 children. They had 2 girls. My mother wanted a boy. My dad was done. So my mom didn't tell my dad that she stopped taking protection. So then she's praying, and she has a vision where a hand is giving her a boy. And she goes to grab the boy, and they took the boy back and say, right, you have to give him back if we give him to you. And she said, yeah. She gets the boy, conceives, I arrive. And so she remembers And actually, the interesting, the journey continues, because when I was in my culture, after 8 days, you have what we call Isomoloroko, where they give a
my
child
culture
name.
too. Yeah, well, carry on.
No, you're an Englishman, man. And when they were about to give me my name, and as you know, everyone gets in. The uncles, the aunties, the next door neighbors, the grandparents, everyone. So God knows I had a whole list of names, and then my mother heard like a ringing bell. She couldn't bear it. She ran out, and then she heard the same voice she heard when she was giving the boy, that says, all these names you're about to give this child, they're not his. Because I brought him. So she went to my dad and says, listen, this is what I've just heard. And my old man was like, now my dad was Muslim. His name was Muyiwa Olanrewaju, and he became a Christian through my mum. And generally, when Muslims become Christians, they take it real serious. So he was like, is that what you heard? That's what we're going to do. She told everyone, listen, your name's sorry, out. And so I end up with, just the names I have, which when I spell it out, it seems like it's really long.
Yes, speaking about the way you pronounce your name, when BET first started broadcasting here, or transmitting as they say, one of the first couple of things they were showing was you. It was like your face was always on BET for the first couple of months, talking about yourself, what you do, the River Songz, and the way you pronounced your name. You went into every single, syllable or letter. Is there a special feeling you get from, saying your name that way?
There is, and there's a story, and there's a whole story behind those few seconds of me mentioning my name, because part of my journey of being at Archbishop Tennyson's Grammar School, which is where I went to school, they would leave bananas on my table to remind me of what a monkey I was, and at one point I so wanted to change my name. I so wanted to change my name to Stephen or Jeff or something, and then I'll go to church and see some uncles and think, how am I going to tell them that I changed my name from Muyiwa? So I thought, oh well, you have to live with it. And then later on, I woke up and realized that, hold on a second, I was believing the lie that we see on the media, that everything African, everything Nigerian was bad. And I was like, man, God didn't make no mistake making me Olanrewaju, and so I thought, as I woke up to myself a lot more, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna be Muyiwa Olanrewaju Adebayo Sholomo. If you don't like it, call me Jeff. If you don't like it, just move out of the country. Yeah. So and what's intriguing for me is to find that there's a whole generation of young people who all of a sudden are like, yeah, I don't mind because up until then, what you would hear even now when people mention Nigerian, oh, fraudsters, oh, this, oh, that. So I'll go to some places and they'll be like, you're not like a normal Nigerian. What's a normal Nigerian? I mean, normal Nigerians have two heads, or I know I don't have hair on my head, but so it's part of that quest to represent, as it were. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. And my hope is just that I never mess up the brand, the Nigerian brand.
I don't think you're doing that, sir. Now you're probably one of the most hardworking people in business. I'm not even going to say the music business, or in business as a whole. You wear so many hats. You're a musician, you're a writer, you're a producer, you're a TV personality, a radio personality, a voiceover specialist. You have people that work for you, you work for other people. Released, is this your 5th album?
Yeah, this is a 5th album.
Your 5th studio album since 2002. So basically in the space of 10 years, you've done 5 studio albums, done every single thing I've mentioned, and you still get the energy to get up and perform at churches, perform at concerts, working with some of the superstars in the world. You've mentioned many, many names. Tell me, how do you motivate yourself to carry on doing this that you do?
I think that the motivation is, like you say, how does one motivate? It comes from the inside, and there are a number of things. For me, the first thing is understanding, and it's a mantra I have. The reason for my being is greater than I. And when you know that, you realize that actually what you're doing is not just for you. And the second thing is being in your place, because I do a lot, but it doesn't feel like I do much. I mean, it does feel like a lot sometimes, but I feel like I could do even more, you know, if I had enough administrative support. So I don't feel like, oh my goodness, the weight of the work is. I love the things I do. I mean, I sometimes the truth of the matter is where my life is. Sometimes I'm traveling, and God knows I don't know where I'm going, and I've just stopped trying to ask. I just know, just the day before, just tell me what airport I go to, and when I get there, they'll give me the ticket and tell me when I'm going and when I come back. Just because of the volume of stuff you're having to deal with. The question of motivation, one, it's about understanding the reason for your being. It's also about understanding or finding yourself in the place you ought to be. And I've been terribly fortunate because I've fallen into the things I'm doing. And I mean, I fell into music, I fell into radio, I fell into TV. And I'm just like, you know what, this falling thing is okay. I'll keep falling all over the place, you know. So for me, motivation is not. I wake me up 5 a.m., 2 a.m. after 2 hours sleep. I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Now, being a performer, you have the opportunity. One of the nicest opportunity of performing at churches or at, you know, massive events like that, and getting people moving. You know, Muyiwa and the River Songz, just like you said. I was listening to some of your songs, some of the music, and I was doing something else. I just had the earpiece on, and I was listening to the music, and I think it was exactly the way you described it, where, you know, I was easily finding it, you know, just doing what I was doing. Then all of a sudden, one leg started to move a little bit faster for the body to move. Then, you know, I got into the groove, and, you know, these songs. And then I was like, okay, let me have a look at you performing at concerts, which I saw, and it was a whole. Everybody standing up, being it. You even, I think it was at a church. You told them that, you know, if you're not dancing, then maybe you're not a Christian. So I saw people just jumping up and dancing, and people singing along with you. You've hosted a sold-out concert at the Indigo 2, one of the most prestigious venues in the world for concerts now. And this is following your 5th album. You're stepping it up again. HMV Hammersmith Apollo. We've had the likes of, you know, Trey Songz. We've had the likes of Usher. You're stepping into that stage, a live band. Your group of performers are going to join you. First of all, let's talk about that day. When is it, and what should people expect from Muyiwa and River Songz?
It's gonna be it's on the 23rd of June. So if you're watching this in the year 2025,
23rd of June 2012,
yeah.
HMV Hammersmith Apollo. That's what I'm holding, UJ. That picture shows an expression of a fun night. What is it going to be?
It's going to be, I mean, a River Songz evening is always fun. Now, whilst what we do is gospel music, it's quite serious. It's about the soul. It's about things which are cathartic, so you get, you know, the bad stuff out and you get some Jesus in. But my conclusion is, if you just wanted to turn up for a service, you could go to church. If we're gonna have a concert, we might as well make it fun. Worse still, if you're gonna pay to come to a concert, you better do something, or else.
Take more than a leg.
You know. So River Songz events are always deeply spiritual, but very much fun. And the Hammersmith Apollo, for us, it's a step up. And our journey's been full of steps, because when we did Ocean, when Ocean used to be the O2 of Europe, it was a big step for us. And it was a massive push, but, you know, we got there. The O2 was another step. So Hammersmith, it's and when you're making the steps, it's uncomfortable. But, you know, we're like, you know what? If we're gonna do it, let's make it good. So in terms of production on the night, if you are coming, you're in for a treat.
I'm definitely coming for that. Definitely coming for that. At least I'm going to get some free tickets. That's yes.
I mean, whilst what I can say is, I don't have the budget of Usher, but let me tell you something. What we got in terms of production is pretty close to that Negro, you know. And in terms of musicianship, you get the best. In terms of singers, you get the best. And it's just going to be, I can guarantee you, at the end of the night, you will, let me tell you, if you don't have a good time on that night, I'll give you your money back.
Let's go.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Now, you've performed with the likes of Mary, you've performed with some of the biggest gospel artists or popular music artists all over the world. I know you always bring out special guests on stage whenever you're around. Names have been thrown at me from every single corner in the world. They're talking former X Factor people, former The Voice UK people, current artists based in the UK, coming from Africa, China, United States of America. Muyiwa, who's coming to that event? I've had enough of this. I've done my research. Nothing's coming up.
It's a surprise. Yeah. Let me tell you though.
Yes.
Let me tell you. I can tell you. There's a singer coming from Mumbai, all the way from India. There's one from China that's coming. UK is going to be well represented, but on the special guest side. Like you say, X Factor on The Voice. Now, this is what's happened. A lot of people have been tweeting and saying, we know it's jazz, because Jazz used to sing with River Songz. So they're like, we know it's jazz. We know it's jazz. That's easy. If it was jazz, I would have said so. So it's not jazz. And the other thing I've been teasing with is we got 2 Olympic athletes coming, and one of them is both of them 100 meters record holders. A guy and a girl. Now, the guy, he's black, he's much taller than me, he's much slimmer than me, and he's a 100 meters record holder, and he's not British. So
wow. That's a massive hint. That's a
tease, baby.
Now, it's Muyiwa and River Songz all around the world. June 23rd, HMV Hammersmith Apollo 2012. I look here, I see Liverpool Lighthouse 2006 was sold out. Ocean Hackney, sold out. Sheridan, Manchester, sold out. Indigo 2, sold out. Now we've stepped to HMV Apollo. We have to make that sold out.
Amen.
So go and get your tickets. Your music is inspirational. Your albums, this is the 5th album. You've had albums top charts on Amazon. You've had albums, you've done very, very well represented. The Nigerian name, secret for you, my second name is Olanrewaju as well.
Amen. I knew, family. I knew I had a body like that under this flesh.
So, with FACTORY78 is so pleased to have you on our platform. Really appreciate it. We can't wait to come to that event. It's going to be sold out on the 23rd of June 2012. HMV Hammersmith Apollo. Go and get your tickets. I'm sorted. Don't ask me about it, okay? So, Mr. Muyiwa, good luck with the event. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic night.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.